Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Megan.
And this is Hinson High Five, which is a series that we're creating that is basically 5 things that we want to share. It could be tips, it could be things that we've learned in life and that we want to share with you. So today, in this Hinson High Five, we're sharing our 5 trip planning tools. The first trip planning tool that we want to share with you is rvtripwizard.com. It's a web app that we use for our trip planning. So what is it that we like best about RV Trip Wizard?
This is our main trip planning tool that we use. It is a paid for membership that we pay a yearly fee, I think of
$40.
$40 a year, and it's well worth it to us. We have used this the entire time we've been on our trip, and we use it mainly because it allows you to plan an entire route. So we can see, if we want to, we can make an entire map of every location that we've been from point to point. I like because it gives us a huge overview of an area. If you're going to a specific location inside of New Mexico, you can see all the type of parks that are there according to what is listed on their site. You can see RV parks, state parks, county parks, free camping, all of it is available. If you only want to see state parks, you can filter out to only see state parks.
That's right, and you can filter by price and amenity. If
you only want parks with pools, you can put that in.
If you only want parks that accept Passport America, you can put that in. And it makes it easy for us to really quickly plan a trip at a glance. And to kind of decide on our heading.
Yeah.
On a nerdy note, this tool is built on the Google Maps engine. So the same map that you would get generated for Google Maps, it does the same thing, except for the main difference is from point to point, it breaks down your trip by how many miles and how many hours that's going to be. Yeah. It also allows you to say, instead of using Google's recommended time, I want to take an average speed of like 60 miles an hour, which is useful for us because we know that our speed is going to be slightly lower, like maybe 65 miles an hour.
Yeah, we really use that feature, especially the radius option. So you can click into your specific location that you are, find a radius of miles or location, miles or hours, and decide how far you want to go. This was super helpful for us when we were traveling across the US and making huge strides at a time, because then we knew we don't want to spend 17 hours today traveling. We only want to spend a specific chunk of time. Yep. So we make that radius, we find a location that's just inside that radius and spend the night, and then our traveling was a lot smoother.
Yep, and overall it helps us to break up our trip and see it at a glance, to visually see, okay, this is how our route is going to go, so that if we go, if we want to go western or eastern, like we can kind of see where that is in relation to everything else. But it's a really good tool for like doing your like at a glance your plans, right? It's good for doing your plans, but whenever you get to a little bit more granular about finding places, what's next on the list?
Our next one is CampIndian, and this one is super helpful because it's so easy to find free camping. So as we've gotten more comfortable with boondocking, dry camping, camping without hookups, we would like to find those locations, and this is one of the easiest ways to find it. And you can look CampIndian.com. There's an app, CampIndian as well. Is that a fee?
No, it's free.
It's free.
So it's a free app, and this is a good place to start, especially if you're like just kind of checking it out, because it shows all RV parks and free camping and all kinds of stuff around you. It also sometimes will show like dump stations and stuff like that. So it's a really good app for this kind of stuff. We like to use it also for cell signal, right?
Yeah. This is a really big thing for us because now I think you can also access this information inside of RV Trip Wizard with the reviews. Yeah,
but RV park reviews are what RV Trip Wizard uses. It's a different site.
Yeah.
So it may say you can get Verizon, but
CampIndian does a really good job of aggregating. If you leave a review, you say whether or not you had cell service or not, and what kind of
how many bars you got.
Which has been super helpful because if we are in places where he can't work, it doesn't work. So.
If you have one bar but you don't have LTE, then I can't really use the data. So that kind of creates a problem for us.
Which I think we kind of said in this too. It also shows all the reviews of each park, so you can look and there's pictures and what people thought about each site.
Yep. So it's really, really great for that. Okay. Now, next up, I want to use that as a segue to a paid app that is $9.99 to download from iTunes and on your iPhone. I believe they probably have an Android version as well. Yeah. And there's a web app, and it's called AllStays. Now, AllStays is a little bit, it's sort of like, I think it was around before these, but AllStays is really good for also finding like overnight
overnight
Walmarts
stops, like
and stuff like that. People kind of leave like whether or not they were able to stay at a Walmart for free and stuff
and
like that.
they usually leave like December 2018. Call the manager. And they said, totally fine, park by the garden center.
Yeah, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, because then you know whether a Walmart is actually one that you can stay in, because a lot of them you can't anymore.
And they also show everything like low clearances and truck stops and stuff like that. So it's actually really useful, and it's worth the money, definitely.
Its interface is a little bit less user-friendly in that it seems a bit more outdated. Yeah. However, it's just kind of the look. It's still extremely helpful. You can
the information is there.
Yeah, you can access images, you can access reviews, you can access all of that from the app, and we still use it a lot too.
We do. Now, Next is not really an app for like finding RV parks. This is something different. And what is that?
This is a membership that we started using, and we've used it a couple times now, and we love it. It's called Harvest Host. Again, it's a paid per year membership, and it's totally been worth the money already. We have found great places to stay. Not only do we get like a cool nightly stop, usually you only spend one night at a Harvest Host, but you can also get a really cool experience. So we stayed at 2 awesome places so far, and they have been great experiences.
So what Harvest Host basically does is it's an index of farms, vineyards, breweries, and golf courses.
I think you pay a tiny bit extra for the golf course membership if you decide you want to use that, but it's still an option.
But there's also museums, right? So, and it's all of these places that basically they allow you to stay overnight, no electricity, no water or anything, but for free. But it's they encourage you to patronize the business, right? So it's experience based. Okay, so it's not like free camping. For that, you want to look at something like there's a service, There's a service called Boondockers Welcome, which does that. We're not members of that, but so we like Harvest Host.
Yeah. So basically, you stay the night. You go in to patronize the business. You get a bottle of wine. You do a tasting. You do something that says thank you for letting us stay.
Right. There's kind of an expectation that you're going to spend money at the place you're staying at. So.
All right, and our fifth and final one is we basically decide where we're going to go, or we decide a place that we are interested in, and we use something called YouTube or Google. I know this might seem like an obvious one, but for me, this helps me to know. I like to know what it looks like where we're going. I don't like to be surprised when I get somewhere and it's really tight or really small or really dark. I don't know. Like, I like to know what it looks like. I like to see.
There are a lot of people who have already gone and done the legwork to like do the research on the campground. Like they make reviews of the campground, and like it's so helpful. So
inside of Google and YouTube, a couple of sites that I specifically follow or like to see their videos or their pictures. My go-tos are campsitephotos.com. They also now don't just do photos, but they do like typically like a drive through each campground, and it's like a 360 view. But they have taken the time to, in many campgrounds and RV parks, take a photo of every single site. So if you're going to stay on site 29 inside of a certain state park, you can often go to their Google, their YouTube channel or their website and find that specifically. Also, Wheeling It does a lot of campground reviews as well.
That's a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, yeah. So I like to go and see, did somebody else already do the work for me? And then I can either find a blog post, I can find a drive-through, something like that.
So these are really useful for doing research around where you're going to go, right? So whenever we have this kind of area, again, we're going back to the first point, RV Trip Wizard, we'll go to RV Trip Wizard and we'll say, what's in this area? And there's like 3 state parks, and we'll go, okay, well, let's do a little research and see which ones are great. And then
because you might have a couple to decide between, and you're like, oh, I like the look of this one better. I'm going to stay there instead of that one. Or the sites here are nicer.
Exactly. Or maybe if one you're going to give up like full hookups, and you're going to go with a with a water and electric situation, do the other amenities like outweigh that decision. So it's just a matter of doing the research, and I mean, YouTube and Google obviously are really useful, but don't discount them just because they're free and available, because they're super useful.
Because there are so many people who've done the legwork for you. Go ahead and find that out. All right, a couple honorable mentions that we use. Obviously, if you have camped at many state parks, Reserve America, many states use their own version, but you can go into the reserveamerica.com site and type in Florida. And then basically you can see, does Florida use Reserve America? I can find it. I use this right now all the time because we're in Florida. Also, recreation.gov if you're going to any national forest land or national park land. Those are there as well.
The redesign is terrible.
It is bad.
But the pro tip here, or I mean, those of you who have used the site, you may already know this, but Two things. One, don't just search for the week. Maybe if you have a rig that's easy enough to move. Like in our pop-up, this wasn't easy. Now it's a little easier, and especially if you have like a motorhome or something. Like check and see, like, can I stay 2 days
in one spot,
and then move to another spot or whatever, to kind of make up your stay for longer, especially if you like the area. The second thing is, if you don't have availability at that campground, look and see where is available. Like there's an option that says see available campgrounds in the area. And if you're flexible as far as where you can go, then this is a great way to explore new state parks you probably haven't seen, or aren't as popular. And whatever does use Reserve America, you know, you have a pretty reliable interface there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so those are our top 5 tools that we use. This list will change over time because, you know, technologies will change and new things will become available. So, you know, check out our website, hinson.co, and the accompanying blog post that comes with this video. You can find the link in the description for updates. But for now, these are the tools that we use. These are the ones that we kind of live and die by. This is what we use to find where we're going and to plan our trip.
So if you guys have different tools that you use, please comment below and let us know. We love learning new apps, new websites, new technology to help make RV living easier. And yeah, share with us below. And if you have any questions, please send us an email, give us a comment. We would love to know what you're thinking or what your questions are.
If you found this video useful, then give it a like. And leave a comment if you have any questions or any comments. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, hope this high five gives you a nice week.
Yeah, high five! All right.